Welcome back to the 75-gallon mixed reef aquarium, and we're just doing a quick check-in. New month, new energy, and we have frog spawn. This is the purple one. It has closed up on me a little bit. I'm not too worried because the other frog spawns are open. This is actually the only coral that is closed up at the moment. So even the flower pot is open. So everyone's doing well. No changes to livestock, no changes to equipment, no changes to dosing. Just trying to keep all that consistent, but lots of new growth. The Bam Bam Zoas, and you can see the meteor shower is starting to fill in that gap there. These Zoas are starting to spread. They don't really color up until towards the end of the lighting period. And one of my favorite corals, the mushroom, Recordia florida, with the bright orange one. And then what I'm going to end up doing is moving purple tip hammer, switching it out for this frog spawn. I'm either going to frag the frog spawn or relocate it to a different area. Still have bubble algae as a challenge. Some of the snails are just dragging it all over the tank. This bubble coral is like in a new spot. Before it was slightly too close to the light, but I finally got the placement. Starting to get the placement in line on the left hand side of the tank. It does take a while. What I found is that sometimes where you want corals is not where they're going to thrive, and then your rockscape has to be slightly adjusted. And Green Star Polyps GSP is pretty much bulldozed these. I think maybe, just maybe, these Zoas that are taller will be able to fight back and stand their ground. So the idea is to keep the GSP on this rock here and not allowing it to get back into the rock structure. So there is a gap, you really can't see it, but there's a gap between this rock and the other one, so we'll see how well that works out. And one of my torch cores is closed up, one of the heads, so we'll see what's going on there. Orange Bam Bams. All fish are doing well. Consistently feeding the tank. I did frag my first coral, and it was the Duncan. I fragged it from this one over here. And need to relocate that one Recordia florida back there. It's stretching for light. This one's split. As you can tell right there, it is pretty much done pinching off this one. Unfortunately, this one is not the bright orange version like that one over there, but still nice. It's more of a greenish orange. And then this one here has some purple in it, so I don't know if that's coming through on the camera. Let's see. Green hammer, one of the first corals that was placed in the tank, is fully open. I do think it gets maybe a little bit too much light in this spot, and that's why it's not really growing up, but more spreading out. Purple hammer has been doing well. The GSP is moving up the rock, and looking forward to see if the hammer core can keep GSP at bay. The cloves are thriving now. They found their spot. And pulsing Zania. Yellow polyps, which actually sting. I've been stung by one of those by accidentally touching them when my hands were in a tank without gloves. And then the SPS finally are thriving, along with a massive colony of bubble algae in the back, but we have a plan for that in 2017. Temperature wise, the tank is running at 78.5, actually 79 it looks like. The other SPS is doing well, and then this one is a slow grower, but it's doing well. And then those pallies, ugly as hell. They definitely look like they can kill you. They were hitchhikers from the rock that came along with this SPS. And then in the back, I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do. I'm losing my valley a little bit. The orange plate coral is getting lost in the mix, and then my leather coral in the back is enjoying the spot. Let's see, and then what did I say? Temperature. So I do keep heaters in my tank in the wintertime just to keep the temperature very consistent. There's usually a 1 to 1.5 degree difference between the sump and the display tank. I try and keep the heat in the room consistent and not touch the dial. And one thing I found is I use less energy in the winter due to the humidity that the fish tanks put into the room and the overall home. So, and this SPS is doing really well. Look at it. It's a nice, dark, rich green color. And my goal here is to give another try in the springtime when I start ordering more corals. I think batch number 4 of corals. Bird's nest. Definitely looking to put a bunch of SPS right here, and there's a hot spot right there in the center that's created. A couple more leather corals, but not too much. I need to find a home for that coral. That coral actually has really long stinger tentacles that come out, so not only does it need space, but it colors up really nicely when it's closer to the light, it seems, than when it's on the sandbed. So we'll see how that grows. And mushroom is doing well. And sun coral is doing okay. It would love to be fed more often, but I am feeding the tank, I feel, pretty heavily, so it's not looking too happy right now, but it does periodically open up, and when it is open, if I can catch it, I definitely feed it. So all right, that is the update, and appreciate everyone watching. Welcome new subscribers, and leave any comments, suggestions, feedback, thoughts down below, and stay tuned for the next update.